Welcome to the very first Lunch and Learn, where I'm going to answer your questions while we have lunch together. And this question came in 9 hours ago, and it says this: what is a narcissist? I'm introverted. Could that mean I have these traits? Everything is narcissistic now. How do you know if you are one? This is an excellent question because actually there's like 3 questions in this one question. Let's talk about it while we eat some lunch at one of my favorite restaurants in downtown St. Louis, PW Pizza, right here on the Royal We. I love the chicken wings here. They are amazing. And it's weird because I'm eating the messiest thing in the world right now on camera in front of you. So the first question, what is a narcissist? Okay, so you can Google narcissism or narcissist and you're gonna get an answer that takes you back to some ancient literature, fictional story about a person named Narcissus who basically saw his reflection in a pond and fell in love with that reflection, so much so that he forgot the world around him and actually just stayed there and died looking at his own reflection. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get any more into the story than that. But I will say this about narcissism. Now, there's a spectrum of narcissism, and to some extent, we all have some narcissistic traits. If you did not, then you wouldn't get up and put makeup on in the morning to try to look good. As a matter of fact, this afternoon, I have a dental appointment, and I'm ashamed to say this, but I haven't been to the dentist in 3 or 4 years. Yikes. We call this a healthy bit of narcissism. So on the spectrum, where the royal we is aimed at helping people to heal, is from the far end of the spectrum where narcissism becomes abusive. Now, the abusive forms of narcissism comes from people who completely lack empathy. They're so wrapped up in their image and how they look, staring at that reflection in the pond, that they not only shut out the world around them, but they put other people down. So in other words, if somebody threatens to get in between them and their reflection, these types of abusive narcissists are okay destroying that person to get them out of the way. And this is why we're here talking. We're here to share information about narcissistic abuse. So it's not just narcissism. We're here to help deal with narcissistic abuse. It's when narcissism becomes abusive. Now, the next question from LA Lady is, I am an introvert. Is this a narcissistic trait? The short answer to that is no. Being an introvert or introversion is not necessarily a narcissistic trait. I myself am, surprise, surprise, an introvert. Now, I didn't discover my own introversion until later on in life. Now, some of this has to do with other things that you might be dealing with. With me, I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which means in a group setting of people talking, I find it very difficult to focus, especially if everybody's talking at once. I am trying in my mind to grab onto what everybody's saying. I can't avoid it. I take it all in, and it can become overwhelming. I can be filled with anxiety, and I gotta get out of there. In these cases, I'm more comfortable being on my own, right? And so other parts of introversion may just be that you are just more comfortable being creative, being productive on your own in your thoughts and thinking about things, especially if you're an artist, if you're a singer, songwriter, if you like to draw, you like to write. These things, obviously, you feel more comfortable doing these things on your own, right? What I'm doing right now with you, this Lunch and Learn, is a huge challenge for me, by the way. Not only is it challenging my introversion, but it's challenging my ADHD. I mean, here I am trying to focus on talking with you while I'm eating, while I've got music in the background, while I've got cars going by, while there's people in the background. This is a challenge. So I'm learning to face my ADHD and stay focused. I'm learning to face introversion, if you will. And so, no, being introverted does not mean you're narcissistic. Don't let narcissistic people shame you and punish you because you are naturally a more introverted people. Narcissists will do that because they don't get why you're not assimilating into their gang or their clique, and so they'll punish you. They'll label you as the weird one, the crazy one, the black sheep, the one who thinks they're better than everybody else, right? If you're an introvert, you've probably heard that. You think you're better than everybody else as they all stand in their gang talking. The reality is no, you just take so much in, you would rather just be alone because it's too much anxiety, right? So no, you're not necessarily a narcissist because you are an introvert. Good wings. Okay. So the final question that LA Lady asks is, everything is narcissistic now. How do you know if you are a narcissist or not? Well, you're absolutely right, LA Lady. Everything is narcissistic. The world and the principles that a lot of the world operates by and people operate by is very narcissistic. So the short answer to your question, how do you know if you are narcissistic or not? Well, I'll tell you this much. The fact that you are asking this of yourself, that you have self-reflection, that you're able to compare yourself and trying to measure yourself against something that you, excuse me, something you don't want to be. And if you have these characteristics, the reason you're asking is because you want to be able to make adjustments in your life. This right here is evidence to me that you are not narcissistic to the form of narcissistic abuse that we talk about. You're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care to know where you sit on the narcissistic spectrum. You wouldn't care to try to understand the narcissism of the world. But you are right, narcissism is everywhere. So what do you and I do about it? Do just what you're doing. You focus on yourself and who you are becoming, the adjustments that you need to make in your own life to not only live the best life that you can possibly live, but to protect yourself, protect your boundaries, and protect your health mentally, physically, emotionally, in a world that is becoming increasingly narcissistic, right? So, LA Lady, thank you for your question. I don't believe you're narcissistic, otherwise you wouldn't be here asking this great question. 3 questions in one, you go. That was pretty awesome. Listen, everybody, let me know if you enjoyed this lunch and learn as much as I did. Not because I'm trying to let you see me make a mess of myself with chicken wings, but just because it's an opportunity to talk and to get out away from the cabin studio that I typically talk in. So leave comments down below if you want to see more lunch and learns from me, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We. By the way, I do take one-on-one appointments. In the description box, you'll find access to my calendar, so take advantage of that. FaceTime, WhatsApp, telephone calls, where we can talk one-on-one about the issues that you're struggling with. I'll be back with more videos. Follow me on Instagram at Join the Royal We.